Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen. Today we are beginning our breakfast series where we'll be covering recipes, breakfast recipes from across various regions in India, from Kerala, from Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Punjab, and a lot of different regions. And today I'm making a classic dish from the Kerala cuisine, which is the Puttu Kadala curry. So as you saw me working in, I was actually drying the Kerala, which is the Matta rice. I was soaked it for about 5 to 6 hours and then drained the water out, and I was drying it out. So Puttu is essentially a steamed rice flour cake, which is made from rice flour mixed along with some coconut and then steamed in this Puttu maker. So what I'm going to do now is to grind the fresh soaked rice in my food processor and then and show you how to make it. So I'm just going to do that right now. I'm just going to quickly dry it out well and then show you how to blend it in the food processor to make the puttu. So now into my MasterChef jar, where I have put in the blade which is meant for mincing, chopping and making powders and masalas. This is one of my favorite jars where you want to grind and make fresh powders and masalas. It's just fantastic. Okay, I'm just going to quickly add this into the soaked rice, which is dried, towel dried. I'm going to add this in, and I'm going to make a coarse powder out of it. Semi-coarse, not complete fine, and you don't want it to make it into a paste, but sort of a coarse powder. It's ground just like the way I want it to be, like a puttu texture. Here's how it looks. It's a little coarse, and it's not like a fine powder, but you can feel the texture of rice in there, and that's how we want the puttu to be. Now I'm going to mix the puttu along with some salt and coconut, and then I'll show you what the consistency has to be before you put it into the puttu maker. So now I'm going to add this puttu mixture into my bowl. It's perfect consistency. I just simply love it. Okay, to this I'm going to add some coconut. I'm going to add in the salt. I'm going to mix all the coconut, the salt and the puttu really well. And once that is done, I'm going to add little water, okay? And this is where it's extremely important. If you add too much water and when you steam it, along with the steam, it will become too mushy. And I'm going to show you the consistency you need to have, because the rice was already wet. So see, notice that if I hold it like this, it breaks, but we want it a little more harder, a little more firm, a little more holding together, so it doesn't, so it holds well, right? So, and when you steam, it also steams well. So I'm going to add that water. It should feel wet and it shouldn't feel gooey. It shouldn't feel dry. It should feel wet, but it should not feel mushy. Okay, so that is the texture that we want. See, notice that it is wet. It is not dry anymore. I can feel water when I squeeze it, so that's a good consistency. So that's it. So now my next step is I'm going to show you. I typically like to fill it in layers, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to fill it in layers. Now I'm going to show you how to fill it. So this is the puttu maker. Essentially inside there is this small vent thing which helps the steam pass through when it is coming. So I'm just going to put this thing underneath, and this hole is like that over here. Okay, and you typically fill it in layers. So I'm going to add the first layer as coconut layer. Okay, and press it down lightly. You don't want to press it down too much and make the puttu thing very tight. So you want it to make it light, because if you press it very tight, then the steam will not pass through the entire puttu. So I'm going to fill in the rice mixture into this. You know, traditionally coconut is not typically added into this rice mixture, but I like adding coconut to everything because I love the taste of coconut. Okay, so I'm going to fill it in a little more than halfway and 3/4 full, and keep some for layering this coconut on the top once again. I'm going to lightly press it and pack it, not too much, just lightly. And I'm going to cover it. So now that this is filled up, I'm going to place it here, and steam it for about 10 minutes, maybe a little more than 10 minutes. You have to see steam coming up from these 3 holes over here. Once you see the steam coming out, steam it for about 5 minutes, post that, and then your puttu will be ready. Now that while the puttu is getting done, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make the kadala curry, which is another favorite dish of mine. So now to make the kadala curry, we need to make the masala first. So first I'm going to grind in this coconut masala, which is ground along with some coriander seeds and fennel and red chilli and green chilli. Okay, so I'm going to add this in, add the coconut in first into my mini chopper. This is one of my favorite choppers and it's perfect for small quantities. I'm going to add in the fennel seeds, Saunf, and coriander seeds and some green chilli and dried red chilies. I'm going to add in some water, put in the lid, and then finally run the chopper. And that's it. The coconut masala is ready and it's ground perfectly. It's a little coarse, you can make it into a fine paste, but I like some texture of the coconut. So I'm just going to leave it just like that. And now proceed to cook the kadala curry along with this yummy coconut masala. And into my pan I'm going to add coconut oil. Coconut oil is one of the most important things for Kerala cuisine and you must use it because it adds in and brings in a lot of flavors. Let the coconut oil melt, and once it melts I'm going to add in the mustard seeds. We'll add in the mustard seeds and allow it to crackle. Now that the mustard seeds are crackling, I'm going to go ahead and add in the curry leaves. We'll give it a stir. I'm going to turn the heat to low and add in the ginger, garlic, the onions, the finely chopped. You can also use those small pearl baby onions. They add in a lot more flavor as well, but if that's not available, you can add in the regular onions, finely chop them and then saute it. So we have to saute this until the onions become soft. I can smell the flavors of coconut oil and curry leaves and ginger and garlic all coming through. It's just brilliant. I love cooking in coconut oil, and adding it to traditional recipes does change the flavor and makes it really beautiful. Okay, we'll allow the onions to soften. Okay, now that the onions are softened, I'm going to go ahead and add the tomato puree. You can add chopped tomatoes or you can add tomato puree. This puree is already cooked. I quickly pressure cooked the tomatoes, peeled it and then pureed it. I like adding tomato puree because I don't feel the pieces of tomato skin coming out in the kadala curry, hence I prefer a puree. Okay, you can also add chopped tomatoes, it's completely your choice. And since it's cooked, I really don't have to cook it anymore. I'm going to go ahead and add my other masala, which is the turmeric powder. And then I'm going to add in this coconut masala that we ground, coriander seeds and fennel, yum, red chilies, and we'll roast it. I can already smell the flavors of kadala curry coming through. Typically for the coconut masala that I made, a lot of people actually roast the coriander seeds, fennel seeds and the coconut as well, and then they grind it into the mixture into a fine paste. You can either do that brings in different flavors. Always experimentation is always good, and then or you can just do what I did by just simply grinding the coconut mixture and then sauteing it over here. Okay, so both work. So now this is done. I already have some kadala which is pre-cooked and kept. What I did was soak the kadala, which is kala chana, black chana, soak the kadala for about 8 hours or overnight until it was, until it soaked well, and then pressure cooked it with a little bit of salt for about 7 to 8 whistles, and then simmered it for about 20 minutes. It takes about 20 minutes to pressure cook the chana to get a nice soft texture. So essentially when you press it, it sort of mashes very well, and then you know it's cooked. So now I'm going to add in the cooked chana into this, and we're going to simmer this kadala curry for a good 15 minutes until all the masalas are absorbed into the kadala, and then you have and then you also have to add salt. Since I cooked the chana with a little bit of salt, I'm going to add just a little more. I'm going to quickly taste and see whether it requires a little more and then add it. Okay, so it does require a little bit of salt, so I'm just going to quickly add it in. I'll give it a stir, and I'm going to simmer this kadala curry for about 15 minutes until all the masalas come through. So while the kadala curry is simmering, I'm going to make an Elaichi chai to complete the breakfast for Puttu, and I'm going to show you how to make my favorite Elaichi chai. To begin making my Elaichi chai, I'm going to quickly pound my Elaichi. Okay. I'm just not going to make a powder of it, but just mash up the Elaichi so that the pieces are there. Okay, I'm going to turn on the heat and add water into my pan. I'm going to add in some sugar to taste and take this pounded Elaichi and add it into this and allow it to boil briskly for about 3 to 4 minutes before adding the tea leaves. So the flavors of the Elaichi will get nicely imbibed into the water, and then you'll have an Elaichi chai. So we'll just wait for that to happen. Now that my water is boiling and has been simmering in the Elaichi for a good 2 to 3 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and add the tea leaves. Remember, when you add the tea leaves, just turn the heat to low, because otherwise all the tea will just overflow. I'm going to add in just a bit and allow the tea to brew. Now you can turn up the heat, allow the tea to brew and get its color, and in about a couple of minutes, I usually allow it to brew for some time and then add the milk. Okay, so once I get the nice color of the decoction. I typically don't like to add too much milk, so it's completely your choice of how you want to make tea. I like my tea to be a little more flavorful with a little less milk. I'm going to turn off the heat at this stage and add in the milk until my tea gets that right color. It's just perfect. That's it. Now that it's done, I'm going to go ahead and strain, and then the kadala curry is simmering and it looks beautiful. And I'm going to show you how to plate a delicious Kerala style Puttu kadala curry and Elaichi chai. So now I'm ready to plate the Puttu. I've just strained out my chai, and I have to push this thing out, and the whole Puttu will just come out sliding beautifully. Okay, there you go. Fantastic. And the filter will be at the back, and you have to remove the filter, put it in, and serve it along with some kadala curry by the side. Brilliant. And that's what you call a perfect breakfast from Kerala. Puttu, kadala curry and some Elaichi chai. You must give this recipe a try. When you do, let us know how you liked this dish. What are the different variations that you did? If you do any variations to making this type of Puttu kadala curry, I would love to hear from you. Do share all your feedback in the comments below, and I'll be really looking forward to hearing back from you. So until then, until next time, happy cooking and healthy eating.